The time is now. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
President Gardner.
Here.
Vice President Douglas.
Present.
Mr. Scholar. Here. Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Cyphers.
Here.
Manager Patterson. Here. Solicitor Smith.
Here.
Thank you. Welcome to the meeting tonight. I'd like to announce that later at the end of our session, we will be having an executive session to discuss litigation. And I'd also like to ask our communications chair to give us a report on our filming and recording.
Just that we are recording tonight. This meeting is being recorded. We are streaming tonight, but again, we're trying to keep it phased. So we're streaming, but nobody's on the other end yet.
You mean nobody can?
Nobody's watching.
Not
even your
on
wife?
tonight. Not even my wife, but we're recording.
Okay. We're
Thank you.
making progress. Meeting minutes. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of the workshop meeting of May 12th, 2014.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carried. Reports. Public safety, chief. Is that allowed?
All of the Collins Police activity in Leopard Township for the month of April 2014. Alarmed residents 1, alarmed business 2. We had a theft. It was a significant theft from a resident. My detectives did a nice job. We were able to locate where this item was pawned, and the individual is, in lieu of charges, is going to make restitution to the homeowner. He was allowed to be in the house. It's involved in juvenile, so no names can be released. Another theft report, the UPS package. The individual believes that something should have come to her house. Checked with UPS, it never showed up. She believes someone took the package. There was nothing of any value to anybody else, so it never showed up. So she assumed that someone took it. Criminal mischief, 2 reports for, as we talked about a little bit about this last week, they were damage to light posts, harassment call, suspicious circumstances. Individuals thought they seen somebody, officers went out, checked all around, nothing was found. Emergency ambulances 7, animal complaints 1, 911 hang-ups 1, 11 citations, total of 42 incidents active. That's all I have. Anything, anybody has any questions or anything?
11 citations are traffic citations?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that high?
Get a red gate.
Well, you could set anywhere and write citations all day long if you want to. I mean, on any street, anywhere, anytime. It's just a fact. People do not observe. They drive a little faster, I think we all do. But, you know, we don't write citations to make. Oftentimes people say, "Hey, come down here, you can make a lot of money." Well, we don't write citations to make money. In fact, we get very little from citations. Most of it goes to the state, so that's not a reason to write citations. But, any other questions?
Okay, thank you, chief. We'll accept the report. Fire department, any report? Okay. Planning and zoning report, nothing.
I wasn't at the planning commission meeting. There was a pre-application conference last week. There has been no further activity on Alejo Commons. They're still trying to figure out different kinds of permissions from the county regarding the road, so there's no action been taken on that. And we had a pre-application conference. We have a developer looking to put in 7 or 8 homes off of Glen Mitchell Road. And so that was just a conference to get the ball rolling and find out what the planning commission will need, so.
Okay, good, thank you. Tax collector, we have a report.
We have a report. And for April, earned income tax was $10,631.07. Business privilege was $416.07. Local service tax, $4,343.36. Property tax, $239,596.60. Delinquent real estate taxes, $271.30, and the realty transfer tax was $1,751.75, for a total for April for $257.10.15. And on the breakdown, we have collected year-to-date on the property taxes, $304,348.74. Our total for the year so far, $397,441.88. And last year at this time, we had $534,440.81. I think that has to do with the way the tax bills went out. It also has to do with the fact that the tax rate was lowered.
I noticed in another part of the paperwork that the pilot from the village has been paid in full. Is that included in this, or would that be separate?
It's separate because it's not a tax.
Not a tax,
So I don't have it.
Yeah, that's a significant part of our budget. So.
Separate, right. And that's the tax report. Any questions?
No, thank you. Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report. The PNC account, the regular checking account, has a balance of $386,101.40. The Pliget account, the general account, $105,176.41. The general investment Pliget Plus, $853,772.55. And if you will note, that had a deposit of $250,000, which was some of the property taxes. They get rolled into that account so that they collect that wonderful 0.1% interest for the year. The liquid fuels, which is the highway fund, is $39,901.56. The reserve fund with Pliget is $103,392.62. Capital improvements, which I believe has the paving money in it, $510,568.08. The PA Treasurer's Fund, $115,721.25. Total monies on hand, $2,114,633.87. The obligated funds, less the obligated funds, we have operating funds of $1,345,050.36. The sewer bond fund had another purchase of $50,214, which is the sewer payments. We have a balance in there of $370,558.02.
Why do we call that dividend income?
Dividend income?
Yeah, why is that labeled? I don't understand.
The dividend income is basically the interest, but because there are money market accounts, they call them dividends instead of interest.
But I mean, if it's money from the township, where's the dividend?
Which,
We're paying it out of a rates, aren't we?
and which one? On the sewer bond fund?
Yes.
The sewer bond fund is an account with Pliget, John, and it's just they allow us to have that $8 of interest to $320,000 for the month, and they call it dividend rather than interest income.
seconded.
We didn't make $50,000.
No,
That's the
it's
payment from the
The
township.
$50,000 is the deposit from the water bills. water
Yeah, I'm
sewer
saying,
bills.
why are we calling it a dividend? It's not a dividend.
And it's actually called a purchase.
It's called a purchase, and the dividend income is the $8.18.
That's on the 320.
That's on the
Oh,
320.
maybe my eyes are bad. I got lined up with the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's
It's nice to have a
purchases.
question.
Yeah, it's okay, it's purchases, sorry.
Are you obligated to be that big a thing?
I don't think,
There's
no, I
gotta
don't
be
think so.
better places to put your money.
Does it have to be
A
a
comment?
PIC?
Yeah.
Well, it has to be.
Right.
Yeah.
See,
George?
Your ladder, bonds and all sorts of things. that make money.
Tony,
Right.
Gwen,
I'll keep going.
I went through this with Gwen so that I can understand Plickett's and Plickett pluses, et cetera. And we also discussed, is there a better place? What restrictions do we have on the types of investments we can make, et cetera? And I believe Gwen is thinking about that.
Yeah, I talked to the auditor and we need to have a meeting to get some of this stuff worked out.
As an example, Tony, at Swiftly Heights Manor, where we keep substantial reserves, we have Merrill Lynch come in and just roll CDs.
Yeah, ladder.
And again, it might be 0.2%, but with the amount of money that we're carrying right now, I think an investment strategy is warranted. So it's underway.
Yeah, I don't know what Mr. Plickett is, but we ladder them.
Yeah, it's underway.
Pennsylvania,
I don't know.
something.
And they're not much better.
Then I had one other question. With the tax reduction, the estimated reduction in collected taxes will be, question mark?
I have, let's see, it's on the, collected this year, it's supposed to be 460,000. And last year, I think it was close to 500,000. I don't have that figure.
Yeah, it was
It's about
530.
My brain says it was 50 to 70,000?
Yes, that's right. Your brain is right.
All right.
I will have that figure for you next month.
Any other questions? We'll accept those reports without objection. You have a question?
Oh, I said, sorry for the dumb question.
No, there are no dumb questions. Finance, we have 3 motions. I'd like to, if I could, have them rolled into one motion. Motion to approve the April bill list in the amount of $40,897.54. Motion to ratify the April prepaid bills in the amount of $7,811.21. And a motion to ratify April payroll transfers in the amount of $15,782.20. Need a motion?
Having just reviewed and signed them, I move to approve them.
Okay.
I second.
And then a comment?
Yeah, comment?
With both the treasurer's report and the finance reports, doesn't have to happen today. I think it would be beneficial if we had year-to-date versus actual, very simple. In the treasurer's report, that's not quite so relevant, but Gwen, you and I have talked about that also. Just to make sure, or even just advise us, here's a line item where we're off.
Okay.
So on tax collection, that's a little bit difficult. On expenses by the township, if our utilities are 200% higher, or if this is that, I think it would be good for us to know.
Do you want something separate than the budget to actual
Yes.
report that you get?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what it is that you want.
Just, well, that's fine. Just extract those 2 columns.
How about
Go ahead.
reporting something that's a certain percentage out of line instead of every item?
Yeah, just a warning if there's a warning due. That's all.
So use this and just
Yes.
alert you to ones that are out of whack.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. We need to signify, all in favor of the motions, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Next report is from Aleppo Township Authority.
The authority had a pretty busy meeting the last time, last Tuesday. And probably the thing that came up first was the concern about the financial reports. The first quarter plus April, the income is down, but below the budget by a considerable amount, and the sewer use charges were up conversely. So as a result, there's like somewhere around $35,000 to $40,000 difference in return for what we should be getting. Tony has referred that to the engineer for an analysis to find out what's going on, why those numbers are so divergent. It's possible that the water billing timing and the sewer income timing might be out of phase somewhat, that is when the meters were read, but it shouldn't be off that much. So anyway, we're asking for a review as to why the shortage in the overrun. If that makes any sense. The authority also, under their new business, accepted the proposal from Crease to restructure the financing, the bookkeeping, I should say, of the operation, and to redo the budget for 2000 and not redo, but to do the budget for 2013 and 14, and then to work with the staff here to implement some revisions to the system that we've discussed, I think, in the past that are needed. Bill Davis reported, updated on the slide, on the slide of the water main from Westview, and I think the solicitor will have some further comments on that in his report. There's been permanent injunction filed against the property owner there to desist on the earth moving that he was doing, and to actually not that he's doing, but that he started to do that caused this problem, we think. And he's supposed to remove the materials that he put in, onto the property that we think caused the initiation of the slide.
Permanent injunction or temporary injunction?
Permanent, I think it turned out.
At this point, it's temporary.
Oh, is it temporary?
Yeah, there's a hearing scheduled, further hearing scheduled on May 20th.
Is he opposing that?
Yes. He has counsel, and he has made some arguments.
That's May 29th?
May 29th, 10 o'clock in front of Judge O'Reilly. And again, I'll go into greater detail in executive session.
the superintendent of our crew met with the county to discuss repair of paving on Glen Mitchell Road as a result of a water line break that we had a couple of months ago. And we have to resurface 168 yards of pavement. And he's got a price from Colosimo, I believe it is, the contractor, to do that for about $10,500. And we think that's the appropriate thing to do. That we have to repair it to the county's satisfaction. And we think he's the best person to do that. And I don't know whether you actually received a formal quote from them
For,
the repair of Glen Mitchell Road.
I think Nicole might get that.
Oh, okay, you're right. He has also met with Keystone Purchasing Network concerning the addition on the maintenance shop. And they have two quotes. The lowest is around $103,000, I believe it is. And that doesn't include a complete project. There are certain exceptions. Electrical work, some grading, replacement of the doors, removal and replacement of the doors, and some other items. So the cost is going to be something more than $103,000. But the authority is going to study this further, I think, before we make any recommendation to proceed with that. That's what I have here.
That's $103,000 for what now?
Paving.
No, that's for the
I'm sorry.
maintenance
I was
shop.
looking at something else. That's to extend the garage for the authorities' facilities for their vehicles and equipment.
That would be their budget.
That would be
Authority,
from their budget. That's right. So the authorities still are going to have that under consideration before they.
So this garage
forward.
isn't big enough for their vehicles?
Well, it's a combination of vehicles. They store also material in there. all the pipes.
Sorry, I'm not.
What are they using now?
I'm sorry, Tony, say that loud, I didn't hear.
They store all their spare parts and all the pipes and valves in there too. And so all of their equipment they need to use for maintenance is in there, plus all the rolling stock is in there. So there's a desire, well, we did this a number of times, there's a desire to add another bay onto that building, to give them more room. And we sent it back to the drawing board once, we're still evaluating it. We're not ready to come to you with a recommendation yet. We're gonna squeeze it a little more. But the question is, Bill Davis feels there's more room. As I look at it, you get pipes and valves screwed all over that one area. They should have more room.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate the way it was set up.
Excuse me, I misspoke. That was $108,000, not $103,000 for that initial project.
anything else?
No, I don't have anything else. The solicitor may may want to talk to him about the landslide, but maybe under his report.
I'll do that either on my report, and that is also something that's in litigation, so I'll address that in the executive session.
So,
Okay,
Tony,
Any
do you
other-
have any comments?
Well, maybe I'll add. We'll talk about that, as you say, in the executive session. On ramifications, I just want to point out one thing. We're incurring a lot of costs as a result of this. We are, talking to the auditor, we are, we have an item in our expense now, accounting for all of those costs, so that we know how much it's costing us. The question is, what are we going to do that with that, depending on what the judge determines and so forth. We will move it from an operating cost, hopefully, to our balance sheet as an account receivable. Right now, it's going to appear as an operating cost. Engineers, soil, geotechnical engineers, surveyors, all this that we're running up costs on. Now, our attitude is, we didn't create the problem, and we're not going to solve the problem. So we're not going to be involved supervising or solving the problem. It's in the landowners' court as far as we're concerned to solve the problem. Right? So we'll keep the costs. Hopefully, the landowner will pay for it eventually.
You have an estimate of where we are on that?
I don't know. All I know is that when I was up there the other day, we had cats and characters, and all I saw was dollar bills. So we will know. We'll know right now. Starting in May, we'll have all that accounted for.
I mean, tell me if we're going into executive session topics, but it seems to me that the restraining order only gets us a piece of that, and if we're looking to recover monetary damages, that's a whole different ball of wax.
Right, you have, and again, we'll go into more detail later about who can be responsible under these different legal theories, but suffice it to say that you have several elements of damage, some of which may be recoverable from the property owner, others which may not. You've got your expenses, your engineering, your legal, and your surveying costs, your geotechnical.
All of our out-of-pocket costs.
All of your out-of-pockets.
Everything that can be defined. We're not bringing about an hour, bills time, whatever. It's all on out-of-pocket costs. We can verify and define.
And then you have other issues such as what are the long-term ramifications of having to perform any type of remedial work, or in the event that there is a slide, what the damages from the slide might be and where that has to be reported. So, I mean, it's complicated and it can be significant, and I think we do need to address the rest of that in executive.
okay. Can we move on? We'll accept that report without objection. Next item is QV COG.
I have no report. The meeting is this week, so we're out of phase again. I guess my only question is, did anybody go to the recycling day? We talked about this at the workshop last week. Did you hear anything about it?
I did hear that it was relatively successful.
Oh,
We had
good.
a good turnout. I can get you the poundages of whatever's collected if you wanted, but they felt that it was successful, worthy, and the people at the managers meeting definitely want them to continue. There's going to be a fall one in November, again at Swickley. Swickley's pretty much offered to be the host for the fall collection day. So we have hosted it in the past, and the cycle's coming around for it to be our turn because we have a good site where a lot of cars can come and turn around easily. So we may be on the slate to host it next spring, next May. So I'll keep you posted, but it worked out well when it was up here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ambulance Authority.
No report, meeting is Thursday.
Okay, while we're on the ambulance authority, this is a thought, and I'm opening up for some discussion, but now that we are going into emergency management in a meaningful way with Judy on board, I'd like that to be reported, progress on that reported each month, and I wondered if that could come through the ambulance service. Does that seem a logical way to handle it?
In the past, the emergency management was its own report on the agenda, and it got taken off because there was never anybody who said anything. So I'd be glad to add it back as its own,
Judy
the
thinks
same area.
it should not go under ambulance.
Okay.
Judy, it's a separate, it's really
It's very
separate.
multi-agency and involves, it fits just as much under chief as it fits under fire department, as it fits under.
Yeah, that was my thought too, but
It's kind of a separate.
thought it should have a home.
I can add it, I can just add it as its own report.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, first of all, I'll accept the no report from the ambulance authority, but then let's have the report on any status on the emergency management.
Gwen
Planning.
received the forms today, to submit that go to the governor to get my background check and all that kind of stuff. I have about half form written. I just talked to chief. We need to get together and look at his response, and I haven't been able to get together with Cole yet. So I have to put those two pieces in. A couple pieces that I need from you, the newbies, mainly Matt and George. In order to meet criteria, there's a little online FEMA course that you're required to do. I think Gwen has the attendance of everybody else, am I right?
I don't have John's either.
Okay,
Yeah.
then there's 3, it's a real quick.
I think
It's very
I do
boring,
too.
so it's a real quick thing. Going forward, you guys might need to discuss, we need someone from the board to lead the EOC response. So say, I don't know, the storage plant blows up. The EMC is your field response, that would be me. But we need a response from you guys to the EOC, which would be here, or a secondary place, to then organize recovery, planning, finance, etc. So that has to be an elected official of the township. So just kind of keep that in your head. When I get it written completely, what I'll do is bring it to you guys with a bunch of blanks in it. Most of those blanks will be names. And you can take a look at who you want to be responsible for those various functions, and then we can submit it once you guys figure out
Who does what and
who
when?
does what.
Are you going to email the 3 of us a link to the form that we have to fill out, or is that,
Yes, I'll get you the class. It's a little online FEMA class.
it's online?
But yes, it's very easy. It's just a little boring.
Okay.
Is it a test?
Yes, there is, but I think
You worried?
it's kind of a, this is your township, if it blows up, what do you do if it blows up?
So did
It's pretty
I don't know if you have, we'll have to look. I know that Ed and,
this.
You only have to do it once, so even if you did it.
Well, then maybe you should do it again.
I have a feeling I may have to do it again. Did you do
I don't remember doing
it? I don't remember.
some of us went to a class a couple years ago.
I didn't.
Ed did, so, we'll check. If you didn't, then
Well,
you get
we'll
to take it.
see.
Whatever we have to do, let's do it.
Mhm.
Okay. We need somebody to, we need somebody to be the board's
Be the
representative,
board's response person.
response person.
So what would happen is, I would respond to manage from a scene perspective, and you would respond to handle from a township recovery, financial. Like my goal is fixing what's going on now, limiting property and life damage. Your goal is restoring the township back to, where it was before whatever the disaster was that occurred. That involves financial decisions, et cetera. But that person would need to respond here to the Emergency Operating Center and manage that event. I don't think on Osama bin Laden, I'll be able to assume, but that's what it looks like on paper.
Okay,
I'd be happy to, Rod.
fine. That's what I was
All
looking
right,
for.
Sure.
You can do that from Florida too, right?
Or his appointed.
Or,
Yeah, I'll have an assistant.
okay. All right, let's record that. Okay. Next subject. Public Works. I'd like to welcome Tom Jarvie to our meeting tonight and to his official welcome to your new position. Tom, we've each talked to you.
Well, I'm just going to give you a brief summary. I mean, we had over in Strictly Heights Drive, over the cul-de-sac, we took down 2 big trees up there, dead. We moved the stumps and retopsoiled seed the whole area up in there. Then we had some signs up on the bridge we had to fix that broke.
Thank you for that.
Those are expensive signs. And I don't know if you noticed the township building, we put new plantings in, remarked all beds, building, rest of the little bed. And of course, we've got a lot of expense going on with the trucks right now, new tires, inspections. They had a rough winter, the trucks, and there's going to be some pricey bills on them.
By the way, Tom's complete report is in the pack if you noticed it. Go ahead.
But like I said, I mean, there's a big expense on trucks right now. In fact, the newest truck right now is getting 16 tires on it, so it's going to be a high bill.
I saw a bill somewhere at $2,000 worth of.
Well, on the one dump, just to replace the whole brake assemblies and everything on the back end, that was $3,000 on the truck on brakes.
Hope that's in the budget.
Trucks with the salt and stuff,
It's not. That's the way it is.
So you're going to see, all trucks are going to need tires, even the pickup come fall is going to need 4 new tires.
Okay.
So it's expensive year on the trucks.
Best to have them by the winter.
Well, yeah, that's what it's going to be needed for inspection, something we can dance around. It's something that has to be done now. And unfortunately, it's one big expense.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we get our tires?
Right now we're dealing with Summerall, which is state pricing we get.
Good.
So, and then what we're doing now is added protection for the truck, the wheels, and powder coat the wheels, like sandblast them and everything, because they're rusty. And when they take the tires, they do the wheels. And it's like $23.
Yeah, good.
So it's worth it, preventative maintenance. So we're going ahead and doing them all as the trucks get the tires.
Okay.
And of course, the grass cut right now has us, the rain's not helping us. We have so many other projects we've got to get done, but we can't let the grass get out of hand either. We're plugging away.
Okay.
So we talked last month, I think, about some roads over in the manor that got chewed up by the snowplow, and they were on our spring list.
There's some areas that they topsoiled, which we plan on doing. And as far as, we have an asphalt work to do on Rockledge, because the one manhole, we had to cut it out this winter and just put coal patch in, because the plow was taking right on the manhole. So this summer, we gotta cut all that out, put the new binder in, and top it. But as far as any big paving areas over here, it's not gonna be this year.
But the turf repair and stuff, that is on the list.
Yeah, that's-
That's what he meant, the topsoil areas and things like that, the topsoil and seeding. It'll get done.
I don't think I think there's areas where it's not a curb, but there's a name for that, where it kind of goes up to meet the grass. It got,
The wet curve,
yeah, that's not getting done.
The wedge, is it
There's
the
one
wedge
little
curve
one
or dirt?
across from,
It's not dirt, it's
from the
asphalt.
circle, there's a little area there.
Yeah,
That's not a big concern. We'll put a little, when we have some pop, we'll throw some pop in, but when they go to repave it, that's all gonna be redone.
okay.
It's not affecting the road itself, it's just that the curves are just becoming deteriorated. In the wintertime, when you're pushing snow across, they're not intersections, it's one of the things that happens. So, I mean, we'll touch it up as we can this summer, but like I said, as far as any major work to those roads this year, I don't think it's in the budget. I don't know whatever the board decides to pay this year, but we have a lot of other worse areas.
Sure.
So, but like I said, all topsoil areas that need repair the topsoil stuff, that's on our schedule. Like I said, as quick as we can get to these things, we're working at it.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Under Public Works, we have a motion to accept or reject a bid from R.F. Mittal and Associates for engineering services for the paving projects. I think first to get it on the table for discussion, I need a motion to accept or reject.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Joanne. Any discussion?
Do we have any commitment yet from,
We were sort of waiting for you.
on the,
I don't have an
Drainage work.
answer yet on the drainage work, but they keep saying soon we will know. So I don't have a date yet. So as soon as I get that date, I will let you know, and then I will let them know if you're choosing to go with it, if you want to wait until I get an answer.
Well,
Yeah, I think the issue is, Rod, that if Overlook isn't ready to go, we have to do other roads,
you know,
and we don't really have a bid for those other roads.
Well, until we start the other road you're talking about, South McCoy,
Right.
the water line has to be put in.
Right,
Yeah,
that
so-
has to be done.
Well, I reread this proposal from Middle, and it does not specify which roads this covers. It says the 2014 paving program for Alevo Township. So this could cover all of them. You know, all of the engineering and design for Overlook and the other 3 or 4 roads that we're talking about.
And you had mentioned that the price was lower than a comparable bid, but the scope of services was different.
Yes. From past work with KLH, this came in a little under what KLH would propose. However, KLH was proposing inspection of all of the drainage work that's being done, because that's not being done by us, or we would have to pay for an engineer or, inspectors to come and watch that to make sure it was done to our standards if we wanted to make sure it was done to our standards. So that's not something that's covered in this.
Tom, did you look at this bid? You met with the person from Mittal or Midel.
Yeah.
Even though it would be simpler to just proceed as we have for the last 10 years, are you satisfied with what you heard and saw when they came to inspect Overlook?
Oh, I mean, he asked us that day when we walked it, what tests were done on KLH was doing. And we had cut out, and I had done test holes with the backhoe over there, and he had marked the depths of the base and everything else, which they have all the recordings of what, which I don't know, because I mean, he took the measurements and he wrote all the information, which I never saw.
But just in terms of his general competency,
Well, really, he really didn't he just basically asked big questions about the road. And he really didn't give any of his advice. So I really can honestly say, I can't give my opinion on it. I can't give you an honest opinion. But actually that day, he didn't give any indication of, what they would do. I was just telling him what we had done and what KLH had done on the road. So I can honestly, I can't give you an opinion.
in order to have an opinion, what would you need to know?
I think I would like to see him explain what they would do, come in and do to the job, instead of asking what was done.
Yeah.
now, We don't have any evaluation of this firm on other work or,
This was kind of a test run.
Yeah.
My inclination is to defer it.
okay.
When do we have, Tom, do we have time?
You're running out of time, honestly, because, I mean, this should have been done
Yeah,
a while back. It should have been sent out by now. You get on any type of a schedule, because the longer you get on it, we might not get anything done.
But we're not ready to go yet anyhow with the drainage, right?
Well, that's overlooked. Then there's the other group of roads that
And
we're talking
McCoy,
about
South
paving.
McCoy
Right.
isn't ready.
And it's
Well,
not ready
they're
for the
not
water
gonna
line.
start on that until we tell them that we are paving. So,
But we need
But we
design
have other
work and
works.
contracts to be drawn up and all that, which should be underway.
that's what the mid-all proposal is for,
Yeah,
to do
right.
that design work.
For all the other roads that are in our plan for this year.
The way I read this, they're talking about Overlook and the other couple of roads that we talked about in that paving meeting.
yeah.
Right.
And we're not permitted to vote in any other way than right here.
Correct. You cannot take a phone vote.
Can,
I thought we were only talking about that road and the one we're replacing the water line.
And two other, smaller sections of other roads.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is if we vote for this company, they could start on the two smaller ones.
I think we should limit it to that.
You could start with the water lines on South McCoy.
The authorities doing that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then that could, how long would that take?
Tony,
Speak with the authority on that.
when are you ready to deal with the water line on McCoy? So if we told you yes within weeks,
Yeah, we got to order the pipe.
well then Joanne, that might be a good idea.
We know,
So do the two smaller roads, order the stuff for South McCoy. How long would it take you then to do it, once you have the supplies?
well, we usually do it on option. We do it with our own forces. So,
You understand?
I think if it's a priority job, we'll do it. It's not a big job.
Take you a week,
Oh, it'll sort of take.
now wait a minute. Are
couple
you,
weeks?
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea.
are you talking about this work, the actual work would go out to contract, right?
No,
Or
they're
would
gonna
you
do
do
the
it?
work. They're gonna do the work.
We're getting two things mixed up here.
When you're ready to go, and you get your contract ready, we will then coordinate that contract. We will go in, we, the authority, go in and excavate. And by that time, we will order the pipe. Phil has already laid it out. There's not much it's gonna cost. I don't have to have that on me, but it was about $40,000 worth of material. He's gotta go and buy that and get it shipped in. It's not anything special, it's just 6-inch pipe or 8-inch pipe. And once that's in, you can go to work. We got all the hardware, all the rolling stock to do it. And we got the people. You may have to bring in a part-time worker to help them, and that can be done.
Okay. And that includes the actual paving that's associated with it.
Yes. Well, it's two phases. You gotta go in and put it in the field,
Oh, yeah.
tap it down and all that good stuff. We're gonna coordinate.
And then this company comes in and
Right,
does.
yeah, they were gonna leave it at tamp down gravel,
Yeah.
and then,
That's why
but
we're doing it this way.
if Tony is looking for a paving contract before he starts.
Right.
No, you're just looking at an engineering contract before you would start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so,
You're gonna do.
No, I know you're not looking for a paving contract. If you're looking for this board to have a paving contract ready, then we're at least a month away from that if you
Right.
go for this proposal tonight. Paving contract's another whole month plus.
so do we have to change the motion at all to say this, that we accept their proposal, and the intention is to proceed ASAP on whichever project is ready first. Is
Sure. Yeah, you can change it.
that all right?
Motion to, let me just say it out loud. Motion to accept the bid from Midall for engineering for the 2004 paving project, whichever road is ready first.
Yes.
Should we call that a bid or a proposal?
Proposal.
It's really a
Proposal, yeah.
Right.
Motion to accept the proposal from Midall for engineering for the 2004 paving project for whichever township roads are ready to go. It's not very formal.
Correct.
Now, there seems to be some concern about the qualifications of this engineering firm. Does anybody have any background on that firm or knowledge of it?
When you were asking me, I went to a couple firms that I know and asked to get looking with small firms that's maybe. So, and these are the firms that recommend. I'm not in that business, so I couldn't give you.
But they gave you this
They
name.
gave
This
this
was
name,
one,
yeah.
the one that they gave
This is
was
a good
small
guy.
firm.
Yeah, maybe over Plum, but he's a good guy.
Well,
He can do the
to
work.
use the old expression, this isn't rocket science.
Yeah, it's true. This is,
I think the other thing is, between Bill and Tom, just keep your eyes open. Anything strange happens, tell us right away, because Bull has significant experience in road work. Tom has significant experience. So let's just get started, keep your eyes open, and hoot and holler as quickly as you can. Okay?
Okay.
don't have experience.
Okay,
And Len too.
Guys, between you, you know more than I know about the road there.
Len, you were content with their presentation, weren't you?
What I heard from, yeah.
Good.
You seem to be knowledgeable about
Good.
what was going on.
Take it forward.
we have a motion,
I second.
but, yeah,
Yeah, second.
okay, all in favor signify by saying aye to proceed.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. We are to the solicitor's report,
I'll hold my comments for the executive session.
okay? 537 plan. Anything? Nothing? Unfinished business. Our request for proposals, we'll still keep it in mind. We've talked about the emergency management plan. Community, is that your?
Yeah, it's kind of mine. I told Gwen the result of our employee lunches. And Gwen, Martha thinks it was a great tradition. Gwen thinks it was a great tradition. I had suggested once a month. You were thinking go a little slow. I think they should be reinstituted.
And this is the lunch.
Apparently, I wasn't here, but apparently, once a month, the township provided for the employees to get together and just have a lunch on the township, just for camaraderie.
Good to me.
Well, my only concern was once a month seemed,
How many people are we talking about?
Pardon me?
7,
I mean, you're talking about $60.
100, yeah. It never would exceed 100, I don't, I can't imagine,
We're
yeah.
not
60,
giving-
70 bucks.
We're not giving you a Visa card,
Okay,
like they did in Leedsdale.
okay.
What did they do?
Well, since
All the people in Leedsdale have Visa cards.
there's some concern, a compromise for 6 months.
okay,
All right?
I go with that.
Do we need a motion?
Yes.
Are you setting a precedent for authority to do that?
They will be,
The authority's invited.
Oh, good.
They're included.
We're just gonna
There's
come to
7 of
you
us,
for
we're
half
all
the bill.
here, Yeah.
And
We meet
again,
everybody, so that's the 7 of us both sides.
so that everybody knows, I've said it 1,000 times, we have very good employees. And for them to get together over a $100 lunch, they discuss things to our benefit. It's good camaraderie. I think it's a very good idea. So I'm going to move to reinstitute the employee lunches to include both employees of the township and the authority on a trial basis for 6 months, organized by Gwen.
Okay.
I say.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
I did.
Who seconded, I'm sorry.
I did.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion carried.
And then the second community thing, really quick, my never-ending picnic. Talk to Gwen, accept everybody's concerns that we might not be able to pull one off this quickly for this year. But the township has had picnics in the past. They've been kind of fun. They've been simple. The volunteer fire department put on a competition, a couple of booths, et cetera. And this is all intended, again, to bring the community together. Every once in a while, there's a little rough spot. Let's bring everybody together. Gwen had agreed to put some thoughts together. Perhaps she doesn't have it tonight. If we believe that we can't do it well this year, we'll defer it. But have you put thoughts together?
I mean, just what we talked about, there are plenty of ideas of what could be done. The most important thing I have to say is that I will need people to volunteer to do this. It's not something I can pull together myself in the next couple months. This sounds like something that's perfect for a citizens committee. So I know there are people out there who are interested in participating in the township, and this is something that's fun. So I would love to have citizens, where we can have meetings here and discuss it, and people can go off, and this person gets a face painter, and this person gets this food vendor, and we can pull something together, but I just need a lot of volunteer help.
I hate to ask a busy person, but Judy, are you up for this?
Yeah. In fact, I have a question just to throw out there. We kind of tabled our yearly picnic this year. Because we're gonna do something, but it's gonna be
Whose?
the Manor. It's gonna be a scaled down kind of hot dog hamburger July 4th thing, because we spent a lot of money for 35 people last year.
Right.
Perhaps we can do a combined kind of thing. We have a board meeting next, I don't know, next Tuesday or something.
Well, not
bounce it off of that.
not to get too involved in it, but we used to have festivals down at the greenhouse. And what we did was any organization that was related to the greenhouse, we would bring them in. So you have Swickley Heights Manor arrange one booth, one activity. You have Masonic Village arrange one booth, one activity.
No, we can get Bull over here, we can get Valley up here.
You have 5 or 6 nice activities and a little bit of food. That's it.
Just for information, Masonic Villages here is planning an event this year. In fact, they've even have a date,
September, I think.
27th of September. I don't know any details of what it's going to involve, but
Yeah.
we could.
But I'll bet they could pull together a booth,
Was it Bob
Yeah,
Leonhardt?
Well,
for here. Gwen, I guess my suggestion, and I don't think we need a motion, I agree to be on the committee. Anybody else?
Sure.
Len?
I know I can pull at least one other person from the community, probably 2.
Let's have a committee, Matt,
I'll
let's
do
have a
that.
committee meeting ASAP. Somebody pick a date, get us together. And again, I agree with Gwen wholeheartedly. If we can't do it in a restricted period of time, we won't do it. But if it comes together quickly, early September, something like that, we could even wait till October. Fall festivals are neat. Okay, so can you get the ball rolling on a meeting?
Yep, I'll get some dates in.
And you've got Judy, myself, Matt.
Is Bob Leonhardt the chair over there
Yeah, of the fall festival.
for the fall festival? So I think you're going to contact him.
Well,
Or, I don't know.
I don't think we want to interfere or combine, we just,
the other thing would be getting the whole community, and they'll be needing places to park the cars, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be a big thing to draw them to Masonic Village.
no, I don't think we should combine those.
no, but just to know what's going on.
Yeah, I think one,
Don't want to do it.
if
We're talking
Masonic,
about a hot dog hamburger picnic.
yeah, and if
We're
Masonic
talking
puts
about
together
a grand
one
hall. Yeah.
booth with activities, and if we put together a booth and Swickley Heights Manor puts together a booth, we win.
Okay,
And then last but not least, the letter to all of the township residents.
I haven't started yet.
All right, good. Just so that people know, again, there had been discussion at the reorganization meeting. Not everyone is on the computer, reads their emails, etc. So a one-time letter to everyone in this community that just reports on how we're doing.
And when the picnic is.
Pardon me?
And when the picnic is.
If we have the picnic date set, yes.
okay,
That's it.
okay. New business. Pennsylvania Flood Plan Ordinance Update.
Okay, I went to a meeting last week, and the state and FEMA are requiring all townships to have a new floodplain ordinance in effect to go with the new map, and it has to be in effect by a certain date in September, I believe it is. So we have to get moving in the past. So we're really up against it, but what they have is a model, and they very strongly recommended multiple times throughout the presentation, use the model, don't rewrite this. Use the model. There are a couple sections that the board will choose whether how strongly they want to word something, option A, option B. They have a consultant who works with people, so I just got all this last Thursday, so I will be bringing it to you or emailing it to you so that you can have the draft to read, and then we can talk about it with the goal of, it has to be pretty much adopted by August. There are very strong penalties if we don't get it done, and that is that some of the people in floodplain areas will lose their insurance. So we can't have that happen. And we have one section of the township that down on Glenfield Road that is potentially affected. So I have to do more research on this. I will be doing the research and bring it to you, but I just wanted to get it out there so you knew it was coming and that we'll have to act quickly once we get it pulled together.
And I can say that I'm reviewing other ordinances for some other municipalities. They're also looking at the model ordinance and adapting the model ordinance. So if Gwen gets something to me, I could probably review it relatively quickly.
Okay, sounds good. Citizen.
Wait. I have a new business as well. Does anybody know anything about, there was a legal notice in the Herald about Sewickley Heights I think they're having a meeting tonight. And one of our neighbors was asking questions about whether that had anything that was going to affect us. I think so.
Yeah, they had it hanging on metal poles all up and down Scape and Glen Mitchell and
Yeah,
I haven't read it.
there was a big, long notice in the Herald too about it.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
what
they
that-
had it hanging on poles in little plastic papers.
Since my wife's the solicitor who spent the last 2 years of her life doing this zoning ordinance. Yeah, they've been working for at least 2 years, maybe more. They've been working on revising and coming up with a new zoning ordinance and a new subdivision ordinance, I believe. And they advertised it, and tonight is going to be, at 4 o'clock, I guess, this afternoon was going to be their hearing. And they were going to take public comment on the ordinance at the hearing. And then I think they were hoping to be able to vote on it after the hearing tonight. So yes, they're required under the municipality's planning code to give notice to neighboring municipalities when they adopt a new zoning ordinance, just like when we did ours. We notified our neighbors of our new zoning ordinance, so that may explain why. I don't know if we got the notice or not, but that might explain.
I don't recall seeing anything about it.
So I mean, and I don't mean to exploit your relationship. Do we know if there's anything there that we should be concerned about or we should be thinking about?
No, I don't think we share any zoning uses, or I don't believe that we share any zoning districts with Sewickley Heights, so I would not think so at all.
Okay. Good, thank you.
Unlike the situation with Sewickley and Osborne, where we have a joint comprehensive plan, and we do have certain shared uses, shared maps, and things like that. With Sewickley Heights, we have no arrangements.
Good, thank you.
Anything else under new business? Now, citizens' participation. Anything from our esteemed residents? Yes, Charlotte?
Well, those of you who are at Masonic Village know we've been talking dog park. My question is, do we own, the town of Aleppo, some of that green space down Deer Run? There are a couple of plots
We
down there
do,
that we own.
yeah, at the corner of School Street.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Any chance that the town might be willing to investigate putting in a dog park?
That is in Glenfield Borough, and people have come in the past expressing a lot of interest in that land, and they have not allowed anyone to rezone it. It's currently zoned residential, and that is all that they want to keep it as.
And it belongs to Glenfield.
It is in Glenfield. It belongs to us, but it is in Glenfield, and so they control the zoning on it.
Okay, well,
Well, I mean, there's a follow-up question, isn't there? Is there any other place we could put a dog park?
I don't know, we keep talking about doing one at Masonic Village, and of course, we're in the middle of the NIMBYs. Those of us who have dogs would like to have a dog park. Those who have access to any of this green space don't want a dog park, so. You know,
Is there
it's
a
like-
place in Aleppo that's not Masonic that it could be done? I mean, if we, you know what I mean, if we're not in Glenfield, I mean, isn't there a field somewhere in Aleppo that we could look at, that we control the zoning, that we control the, you don't need a whole house on this.
The township owns one parcel up in a residential area. It's like 1 yard-sized parcel up
Yeah.
off of Weber. It's not really big enough. And
There's
there's,
a,
I would say there's a lot of insurance issues that go with that. So it's a nice idea, but there's a lot of insurance issues that go with having a dog park or a skate park. We looked into that too, so.
I cannot.
Can you say your name?
Oh, yeah, Shirley Vargas Hassan. I, actually, set up my fence. If you're going down Elementary, you can see it on somebody's property. I got his permission. I had to sign a release.
Oh, that's it.
And I could see if he'd be willing to let other people use it too. You would have to sign the release. And right now, there's some other people that are also using it besides me. It's my fence. So I'll probably want to release so that if anybody, gets hurt
Oh,
on
my
the
goodness,
fence.
that's fantastic.
But, and I thought about it when I first talked to him about putting a schedule up, and, because when I go up there, I can't have other people's dogs up there, just my dogs. So I'd be willing to ask him if he'd be interested, if you just,
and this is, we're at,
it's going down Glen
On the
Mitchell,
left.
like right below McCoy. There, it's on the left.
That's fantastic.
So, if you just let me know, and I'll check with him and see what would be involved in letting other people use it. I don't think he wants people pulling right into the lot. You have to park up on the street, up on the road. There's a place to pull off and walk down in.
because you always have the thing of pick up and clean up and all that other
That's
stuff.
right. There'd have to be rules
Right.
associated with it. And that's why there was a
We had a
schedule.
bunch of them down in Florida, and they were great.
Mhm. So I'll take that one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, we will be going into executive session, and we have to clear out of here because the election board wants to set up for tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. So we will be meeting in the conference room next to Gwen's office.
Where do you want?